Dear Father, Mother God, we thank you for allowing us to be channels of light, love, and healing. We ask that all energies that flow through Hannah and myself be grounded in Mother Earth, for she, in fact, is the living healer. We call on our guides and our angels to speak through us now. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, all that is. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Anita.
We had a little bit of a traffic jam this morning,
We
huh?
did.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to talk about obsidian. And tell us a little bit about obsidian.
Well, first and foremost, obsidian is actually a volcanic glass. It's from lava that actually cools so quickly that it doesn't get to crystallize. It turns into a glass. Um, One of the best stones for protection, scrying, doing some shadow work for some, inner epiphanies and moving and shifting, and infamously used by Native Americans, aka the Apache Tears, is what they called it. And you can see we have a variety of different shapes, carvings, colors of the obsidian as well. Um, and so you'll see the different colors come from the formation.
Yeah, see this one, if you put it in the light, you can see red, you can see green, you can see a lot of different colors in there. It's very iridescent.
So that's the rainbow obsidian, and you also get other variations of the obsidians, more of the rainbows with the colors. You also get it in gold and silver sheens, which you can really see on this piece
Mm-hmm.
when you hit it in the light.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually comes from, again, the volcanic glass formation. There's little air pockets in there. So when light reflects through, you could actually see the different colors that hit with the prisms. And we were talking about hematite this morning. Um, the mahogany obsidian, which classically is known because it has those kind of like browns and like reddish
Yeah, I
tones,
was wondering about this.
that is actually the same formation, but there is hematite present. So the heat treating of the hematite and the lava creates the actual mahogany obsidian, which is really cool.
Really cool.
Um, and Robert said he really liked this piece. Um, so we have some that are laser etched, but infamously, because it is a glass, it has a reflection through it. Really high polished shine pieces, you can actually see things mirror on them. So it was infamously used by psychics for discovering or amplifying their clairvoyant abilities and scrying
Like
and seeing.
scrying, like looking into it.
Yes.
Like if you look into this piece right here, and the genius who made it carved it so that these look like hearts.
Mm-hmm.
These are hearts, and is this rainbow?
It is, yes.
Yeah, and this, oh my God, these are my favorites. Look at this guy and this guy. Okay, I've never seen snakes like this. I just went nuts when I saw them. So anyway, they're incredible, and then there's this ring. It's got something etched in it.
That is actually the flower of life,
Oh,
creation, bringing things into fruition. It's also a very infamous sacred geometry or crystal gridding, um, you know, symbol. And speaking of crystal gridding, since obsidian is so protective, you can crystal grid them around the four corners of the house to sanctify and keep kind of like this protective force field over your space, whether it's your home, office, where you practice. And what it's also great for too is, again, with showing the shadow side or scrying in and seeing more of yourself through the stone, it really helps with motivation and knowing, kind of getting rid of disillusions and blockages to kind of know where to head and be at a higher frequency. And you can also use wands, knives to use as cord cutting tools as well, because it's one of the most infamous stones
these are really nice.
for the protection. And
Yeah,
these have a couple other setting
yeah.
stones.
This has a goddess right here,
Mm-hmm.
a silver goddess.
Absolutely beautiful. And speaking of wands and knives, obsidian is actually very historic because infamously a lot of tribes before BC timeframe would actually use the volcanic glass to make knives arrowheads, cutting tools, and survival fighting tools as well.
And this is the
The
Apache
snowflake.
tears,
This is the snowflake.
snowflake obsidian. Okay.
Apache tears is considered a completely raw piece of obsidian. You don't have the mirroring quite as much, but it was infamously used by the Native Americans specifically for that protection realm, for accessing shamanic journeys, their ancestors. And I know when we pulled both of these pieces out, you and Robert were wowed. We have some really impressive pieces that are in jewelry.
And those have that sheen that you can
You can
really
clearly
see.
see,
Yeah.
yeah. And one more I wanted to point out as well. Again, the qualities change, inclusions. So these are what we call peanut obsidian, which have calcite inclusions. And so that's where you'll see those little pops of color. And it's so fun how just the formation alone can change
It's
the
pretty.
stone.
It's really pretty. I can see wearing that with like a denim outfit.
Ooh, I could
Yeah.
definitely see that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And these are gray.
yes. So those are more of the snowflake obsidian, which has more of the inclusions. That one just has more of the grays than the actual volcanic glass. And obsidian, luckily, because it's a great tool that I think everybody should have in their collection, it's actually not a very pricey stone. It's actually very common. It can form all around the world as long as there's, volcanic activity there. You can find it on the west coast of the United States because that's where all the old active volcanic locations were. But most commonly, it comes from Argentina or Mexico, is where we get a lot of our high grade obsidians. But very, very beautiful pieces. And one of the ones that I think is a staple for everyone's collections.
And we do have a few rings besides this cute ring that I have on, which is a little big for me.
And with the obsidian too, it is kind of similar to tourmaline where it's grounding. It does specifically target the root chakra. So that'll help again with those intuitive downloads, understanding the discernment, getting rid of the disillusions or blockages on the first powerhouse of the chakra system. So it's a really, really powerful stone, specifically great for Aries, Capricorns, and Taurus, and the zodiac realms as well.
Great. Well, if you don't have a little piece of obsidian in your home, this could be a good time because we're having a sale. We're having a tariff sale.
Mm-hmm.
So our tariff sale is 10% off of everything. And not to say that we don't have better, we have 50% off, we have 40% off, we have 30% off. So when you call us, ask us for your special price and have a great protective week out there.